Now we can talk of psychographic segmentation. Psychographic segmentation is what we sometimes refer to as lifestyle analysis. Notwithstanding demographic and geographic segmentation, our lifestyle also shape our tastes and preferences in terms of what we need at a particular point in time. And marketers have found it useful to use this as basis for segmenting several markets. This has to do with firms dividing a market into different consumer groups on the basis of the kind of activities they often engage in. That's why we talk of lifestyle, the kind of activities consumers engage in. And again, their interest, as we progress in life based on our personality and all that, we tend to develop different interests. And then we also tend to have different opinions. So psychographic segmentation is also referred to as lifestyle segmentation. And it allows us to segment markets on the basis of kind of activities that consumers engage in, their interests, and their opinion. That's the use of the acronym AIO, which stands for activities, interests, and opinion. Researchers who typically use the AIO psychographic studies are interested in all aspects of consumers' buying motives, his or her self-concept or personality, interests, values, and belief systems or beliefs. Philip Kotler also sees psychographics as a very important basis for segmenting various markets, where marketers base their segments on consumers' social class, lifestyle, or personality characteristics. As we progress in life, based on certain important variables, people are boxed or grouped into various classes, by way of relativity in terms of respect, and therefore taste and preferences also tend to go along that same. And this is a useful framework, if I can say, for segmenting markets. Of course, personality characteristics, very useful basis for segmenting markets under the psychographic segmentation. There are some number of examples here that can help throw light on what we mean by psychographic segmentation. I will expect you to familiarize yourself with this and see how best you can also relate some of these examples to in the community in which you live in terms of consumer decision making, or goods and services for that matter. Finally, we want to talk about behavioral segmentation. Apart from the three segmentation bases described earlier, firms can also segment particular markets on the basis of product-related behavior. The key word here is product-related behavior, or what we refer to as behavioral segmentation. Product-related behavior or behavioral segmentation. And it's common among organizations or companies. Behavioral segmentation in this regard has to do with a marketer dividing buyers into groups based on their knowledge. Within a given market, it's possible to divide the market into segments based on one's knowledge in relation to the product, attitude of people within this market or segments, uses or responses to a given product. So dividing buyers into groups based on their knowledge, attitudes, uses or responses to a given product. When I say attitude, we are simply making reference to consumers' learned predispositions that allows them to behave in a consistent manner in relation to a given product or service. As we socialize, as we consume goods and services, we tend to develop certain attitudes, and that can serve as basis for segmentation. So it's a predisposition to behave in relation to a given goods and services. When it comes to certain gadgets, phone or laptops and all that, based on our predisposition, based on previous learning, experiential learning or vicarious learning, exposure to mass media forms, we tend to develop certain disposition. Sometimes even the family in which the family we come from can influence this disposition, because attitudes are necessarily learned. So Kotler and Co. are saying that this is also a useful basis for segmenting consumer markets. So the use of behavioral variables are perhaps the best starting point for building market segments. The psychographic segmentation that we started talking about, we did mention that it relates to product usage. It relates to benefits that consumers seek in a given product in terms of product usage rate, occasions on which the product is sought or used, and user status. Under the benefits sought, the firm typically segments a given market based on the most important benefits or features or attributes that the consumer seeks in a product. When consumers demand goods and services, they have certain expectation by way of benefits or features and all that. And we are saying that this can provide us a unique basis for segmenting consumer market. When we take even toothpaste, you realize that some consumers may seek, say, a paste that can be used for whitening teeth. Some are concerned with fresh breath, and some are interested in economy. I mean, where income levels are not very high, and they are talking about big family sizes and all that. So this clearly demonstrates the fact that segmentation is extremely useful. So in this regard, knowledge, based on this knowledge, the marketer can position the product on any one of these benefits that consumers seek. I mean, talking about a toothpaste scenario. In the banking industry, for instance, various clients or customers seek different things. And you realize that various banks position themselves on unique benefits that consumers usually seek in banking services. It can be such as fast transactions, depending on how time is of importance or essence, low interest rates, friendliness of staff, excellent advisory services, and so on and so forth. UT Bank, for instance, saw a niche, and then they tried to position based on promptness of processing loans or transactions and all that. So segmentation again at work. Under psychographic segmentation, one can also segment based on usage rate. When it comes to different products, we are different in terms of the rate at which we use different products. Some can be classified as heavy users, medium users, and so on and so forth. And all this usage rate scenario can serve as basis for segmenting markets and therefore need to use different marketing mixes for this segment. The beer marketer or beer marketers often target their sales promotional activities at the heavy users, or what I describe as the true lovers of beer. This category may just be about 20% of the target market, but usually contribute about 80% in terms of sales revenue. So typically when they are doing these promotional activities, they are targeting the heavy users and not the medium users per se. Under psychographic segmentation, we can also talk of occasions. We can also segment markets based on occasions in terms of the usage of the good or service in question. A marketer can also segment on the basis of when the consumer gets the idea to buy, when he or she actually buys, and when he or she uses the product. Thus, we can segment based on, say, time of day, people who use the product in the morning, afternoon, evening, or breakfast, or lunch. Once we do this, it will require that we deploy different marketing strategies. Some popular occasions that can also be segmented for marketing purposes include Christmas, New Year, Mother's Day, Father's Day, graduation ceremonies, and what have you. For instance, during Christmas, sale of religious or gospel music and items for home, office decoration, and also gift items normally receive high patronage from the consuming public. Marketers who take advantage of this window of opportunities. There are several marketers who take advantage of this window of opportunity. And then we can talk of user status. Apart from the 4 behavioral segments described above, some markets can be segmented based on the status of the people in the market. We can talk of non-users, previous users who are no more using the product, potential users, those who are using the product for the first time, or we call the first timers, and of course those who use the product on a very regular basis. Depending on where a person or group is currently, marketers can design specific marketing mixes for the different groups. Like I did mention earlier on, in real life, marketers or businesses rely on 2 or more bases for segmenting markets. That's how come we can talk of hybrid segmentation. For instance, geodemographics is a combination of geographic and demographic variables for the purposes of market segmentation, because it's increasingly not effective to rely on just one basis for segmentation. So in real life, businesses or marketers tend to use what we call the hybrid segmentation, where they don't rely on just one basis for segmenting market.